welcome, welcome. Love to see so many people on this afternoon. Let everyone get in. Love to see all the faces. All right, wonderful, wonderful. Just a few more seconds. Let people get logged in. Awesome. Love to see all the people. Love to see it. Very good. Well, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, and we're getting snow outside. It's supposed to, they've already opened or sent the kids home from school, and it's just getting started. But we're gonna have a great time here this afternoon. Just a few more seconds. And if you would go ahead and mute yourselves as we get started here, if you have not, appreciate that. Very good. Getting a little snow in the UK. Thank you for that, Gary. Yeah, feel free to type in where you're at. Love to see where people are. Appreciate that. We'll just wait a couple more seconds here. Aspen, I'm in the wrong place. I need to be in Aspen. That sounds awesome. Oh, very good. Well, very good. Well, hello and welcome. My name is Monty Wyatt, and I'm very excited not only for 2021, but for how each of your lives will change because of our time together today. And to make our topic real and impactful immediately for you, I want to share a brief story of one of our newest facilitators. And I want to introduce you to Rose. This is Rose. Rose is an experienced executive and executive coach. After attending our 4-day training and certification class, she approached one of her current clients with an opportunity to go through our 2-day training called Strategic Thinking Execution Planning. Because of their relationship, they said yes. After this 2-day retreat, the response of impact and the need for assistance to fully implement, Rose was able to take her current client relationship from $30,000 a year to $50,000 a year, and from paying monthly to paying and investing quarterly. With this one client, Rose immediately got a return on her investment and gained confidence of how our process works and how to implement it. So I want to ask you this. I want to get you involved right away. If you'd like to, you can click on the reactions button. I want you to interact and play a little bit today. So find the reactions button. I want you to give a thumbs up, or even to just visually give a thumbs up if you would like to have your clients increase their investment with you and prepay quarterly. Who would like to have that? Give a thumbs up. I see a lot of thumbs. I love to see that. Excellent. Thank you for the participation. You know, I do want to thank you for joining us today on the webinar. And today we're going to give you a taste and some awareness of an amazing process and show you how you can increase your return on investment from your current executive clients and your future prospect opportunities. We're also going to close today with giving you some insight on how you can become certified in the content that we're sharing. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we go any further. I do want to let you know that this is being recorded and you will receive a copy of the recording. And I do want you to ask questions. So as we go through, please feel free to ask questions put them in the chat box, and we'll make sure at the end that we get as many questions answered as possible. So just a brief introduction of myself. For the last 25 years, I've been helping executives and coaches change their perspective to gain greater results and return in their business. As CEO of Adding Zeros, I train and certify coaches, trainers, and consultants around the world to increase their size of clients and their income and impact with their clients. So I want to start with a brief quote from Peter Drucker. And I think this is amazing. Only 3 things happen naturally in organizations: friction, confusion, and underperformance. And every business has all three of those. Everything else requires leadership. Leadership and management are two totally different things, which I'm going to go through their difference here in a little bit, but both are needed more than ever before today in every business. Most executives don't know the difference in their actions or their thoughts. As executive coaches, this is our opportunity right now, helping organizations with leadership and management, because they're both needed more than ever. So I want to get everybody involved just briefly again. I would love for you, we're going to do a quick poll. So I would love for you to share and select how you would describe yourself. You know, you're a small business coach, you executive coach, are you a consultant, a trainer, are you something else? So I want to give everybody a couple seconds to go ahead and respond to the poll that you see in front of you, if you would, please. Excellent. We're getting a lot of folks to respond. I love that. We've got about a third of our group is executive coaches. We've got almost half are small business coaches. Excellent. We've got a few employee coaches. We've got a couple consultants. We've got some trainers, and we've got some other corporate executives on the call. I love that. Wonderful. You know, I really appreciate everybody stating who they are and give us a little insight, because this is really powerful of where we're at and what we do. When we work with clients, we are all challenged with making an impact and getting a return on their investment. In order to really measure this, we need to know how to define a great business. So in the chat box, I would love for you to type in a word or two that you would use to define a great business. Go ahead and type in a word or two that you would use to define a great business. Go ahead and type in the chat box. How would you define a great business? It's self-working, it's engaging, profitable, love it, it's growing, it's value-driven, excellent, flourishing, love that, passionate, innovative. I love to hear these words. Has a plan and they work the plan. They've got a clear niche. It works without you. Serves customers. Love it. Provides value to not only clients, but the employees and the owners. Love those. And we could keep going. I want to share with you the definition that Adding Zeros uses as a great business. It is one that is achieving ultimate and optimal success by being sustainable, predictable, stable, consistent, and it has an emotional connection. I just want to take a moment to describe each of them. First of all, sustainable. We should be building a business that's going to outlast us. When we build something that is outlasting us, we're making decisions differently. We're impacting the business and making the structure, and our product focus is different because we're thinking long term. So it's got to be sustainable. It needs to outlast us. The second word, predictable. As a great business, we should be able to predict the future based on our current actions and what are the results of those actions. The third point is stable. Stable is all about our people. As a customer, even as employees of a business, we want to make sure that the people are stable, meaning we've got high retention, we've got high engagement, we've got people fully involved in being a participant in every aspect of the business. The next word is consistent. Again, as whether it's an employee or a customer, we want to be consistent. We want to do business with somebody that is consistent. We know what to expect. And the last phrase there, having an emotional connection. When you connect with employees and customers on an emotional level, it makes a huge impact, and they stay long term, because people want to believe in the same things that a company does. They want to support the same things. So that emotional connection is about who we are and why and how we do things. So I want to add one more component to this incredible definition, that it's also a business is one that adds zeros. They add zeros. So adding zeros is much bigger than just revenue and profit. Adding zeros includes all areas of the business or the organization. So where do we want to add zeros? We add them in every aspect of the business. Yes, revenue and profit, but engagement, customer acquisition, client retention, employee retention, our involvement in the community, the longevity of the business. We could keep listing, but we want to add zeros. And if we look at every one of these things on here, uh, they do lead to revenue and profit growth. If we don't have good team engagement, or if we have poor employee retention, we are going to struggle with revenue and profit. We've got to acquire new customers. So we need to focus on every aspect of the business that we can add zeros. So I do want to, again, just having a little fun, by using the reaction button or giving a thumbs up, how many of you have clients or know organizations that could benefit from adding zeros in any of these areas? Anybody have any clients or know organizations that could benefit from these? Excellent. Seeing some thumbs up, seeing a lot of folks engaged, and I really appreciate it. You know, every one of us should have clients that benefit here, because these are the areas that are critical to not only our clients' business, but to our own businesses. So how do we add zeros? And I want to give you some insight. We add zeros through organizational discipline. Now, we have personal discipline, which I want to include. That's executive development, that's executive coaching, but we also have organizational discipline. And when we think of organizational discipline, we've got to create organizational development. We've got to think about the whole works, because if it's just based around an individual, it's not going to be lasting. So we need to have both personal discipline, which is that executive development, and we need to have organizational discipline, which is the organizational development. There are 5 disciplines that every organization must possess to have and experience exponential growth. And they are strategy, business development, people, execution, and mission. So I want to give you a little graphic that kind of ties these to that definition I just walked through. Strategy connects with sustainability, business development, predictability, people, stability, consistency connects with execution, and the mission discipline connects with the emotional connection. Now, most organizations do well at maybe 2 or 3 of these. Most coaches do well at maybe 2 or 3 of these. Now, the focus of adding zeros is on the mid-market. The mid-market is what I consider 10 million in revenue to $1 billion in revenue. So there's a big gap there, but it's not the super large companies, but it's not the small companies either. This is an audience that needs our help more than ever. And to help mid-market organizations, we as executive development coaches have to have a holistic approach and process in order for these companies to scale and continue to add zeros. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to share with you some insights and a component from each of these 5 disciplines. So we're going to spend some time in each of these areas. And the first discipline we're going to start with is strategy. For a strategy to be successful, an organization must define 4 areas: the opportunity that they feel in the marketplace, the leverage that the organization possesses that's unique to them, or it's sustainable in that process for the company, how the organization is scalable, how they can duplicate into other opportunities, other markets, and how marketable the organization is. When I think of marketable, how easy is it to get in front of our audience? How easy is it to portray or communicate what we do and why we're different? So once each of these 4 have been clearly defined, we have clarity of how we're going to win. Everyone in an organization should have that clarity of how are we going to win. To communicate this, a 1-sentence strategy needs to be defined and created. To explain this, I want to use the example of Southwest Airlines. And I'm going to guess that everybody's heard of Southwest Airlines. They may not be the largest airline, but they are one of the most successful as you look at all of the years. So their one sentence strategy is wheels up. This means that the company is successful. We win as Southwest when planes are in the air, when wheels are up. Every team member, from the pilot to the flight attendant to the luggage handler to those that are helping the passengers board the plane, everyone knows what they must do to ensure that the wheels are up at the right time and doing the right activities. A one sentence strategy clearly answers how we will win and how the organization wins long term. Simplicity is power. Every organization needs to have this clarity of how they're going to win, and every team member needs to know their role in fulfilling that one sentence. So I want you to ask yourself this question. Have you, with every one of your clients, helped create great clarity of what their one sentence strategy is? Better yet, I want you to look in the mirror. Do you have great clarity for your one sentence strategy, for your business, and how you will win? A great organizational strategy creates sustainability regardless of the economic climate. You know, as an Adding Zeros facilitator, you are going to be taught how to help organizations create their strategy and how to implement it into their everyday life. No matter what the situation is, COVID or no COVID, we have a clear strategy of how we're going to win. That creates sustainability. That's the power of the discipline of strategy. The second discipline is business development. There are three components within business development. We have marketing, sales, and customer service. Marketing is about attracting your customer. Sales is about gaining that customer that does a transaction with you. And customer service is about how we keep those customers. At the most simplistic view, that's what it is. There's a lot of depth in each of these points, and none of them can be truly effective if we aren't clear on our core customer. As an Adding Zeros facilitator, we help ensure that our clients have clearly defined their core customer. We believe that a core customer should be defined or described in 25 words or less using demographics and psychographics. Psychographics are most important. They define the needs, the wants, and the desires of who we want to be doing business with. These needs, wants, and desires help us concentrate and communicate and attract the most profitable and easy to do business with audiences. Without defining clearly who our core customer is and how we will serve them, it's hard to be predictable. Predictable is the result of great business development. Now, as an example of maximizing core customer, I want to share another real and impactful story from one of our facilitators. This is Kevin. Kevin is an excellent business coach. Prior to getting certified with Adding Zeros, Kevin desired to have larger clients, but didn't have the tools. He didn't have the process. He didn't have the language to make it happen. He had the desire and connections, but not a clear process or content that connected with them. After training, Kevin approached a prospect with great confidence, a strong mid-market organization with many divisions. When he followed our process of communicating, attracting, and personalizing the relationship, Kevin gained his first $200,000 a year executive development client. Now, this may not be the norm, but having a six-figure client is. Kevin is so excited about who he's targeting, and he now has the confidence and the tools to make it happen. I want to reiterate a couple items from that story. He didn't have the tools, process, or language. That's powerful. You have to be able to talk in that mid-market, that executive development audience language. You've got to have the process and the content to make sure that we are helping them and addressing their needs. So just for fun, I want to do another poll. And this time I want you to answer, how many six-figure clients would you like to have? So I want to give you a few seconds. Go ahead and answer. How many six-figure clients would you like to have? Oh, we got a couple people. We got 3 or 4 at 15 plus. We've got 8 to 10. Got a number of them, 3 to 4. I love it. We're getting more at the 15 plus, more at 11 to 15. Give you just a few more seconds. I love how many people want all these bigger clients, these six-figure clients. They're paying you 6 figures. This is wonderful. One couple more seconds here. Yeah, so we've got 5 at 15 plus. We've got 4, 8 to 10. We've got a couple in that 11, 15. Wonderful. I really appreciate everybody participating. This is powerful. Now, I again, for those of you who believe, maybe it's difficult, or you have a belief that we can't handle more than a couple six-figure clients. I want you to know that the Adding Zeros process, training, and tools help you learn how to manage and handle more of these large mid-market clients. It's possible for you to have a $1 million practice and many six-figure clients. That's the power of what we're doing here. So really appreciate everybody voting. It's great insight, and it's really powerful what we're going to help you with to accomplish that. So, all right, let's make it to the next discipline. The first discipline was strategy. The second discipline is business development. The third discipline is people. The 3 components of people are leadership, talent development, and recruitment. So we talk about leadership. Leadership is about creating self-leadership behavior. Talent development is taking organizational ownership of how we are growing and improving the skill sets of our team. And recruitment is critical in growing and scaling an organization, because we have to be attracting the right people, the right team members, to help us get to where we want to get to. So I want to spend a couple minutes on talent development here. As I mentioned, organizations must take ownership of growing and improving the skill sets of their team. To reinforce this, I want to tell a story about the Container Store. I'm guessing many of you have done business at the Container Store. It's a huge store that's got everything that you want to put anything in something else. You can find it there. It's just amazing what they have. The average retailer trains new employees 2 to 4 hours before putting them to work. The Container Store trains new employees for no less than 200 hours before they're put on the floor. They have an amazing onboarding experience. The new employee has confidence, knowledge, and the sales skills to help their customer best. Now, why is this important? Most retailers, but also most organizations, don't train their new hires enough. The employees don't stay long enough while they're there. They aren't selling or servicing to the best of their abilities. The Container Store has high retention, high sales per employee, and great service to their customers. As an Adding Zeros facilitator, we teach our clients how to create greater stability in their team with ongoing training and support for their employees. Every business out there can improve their talent development. This is a powerful one today. I mentioned that every business can learn and benefit from greater leadership and management. Onboarding their team is a big part of that. When we have this discipline in place, we have great stability. So we want to make sure that we're helping our clients and these mid-market companies create that high level of stability. All right. Discipline 1 was strategy. Discipline 2, business development. Number 3 discipline is people. Number 4 discipline is execution. The 3 components of execution are process, management, and financial controls. I want everybody to write down this phrase: we lead people and manage processes. We lead people and manage processes. So at the beginning of the webinar, I mentioned that leadership and management are not the same, and they both are needed more than ever today. As an Adding Zeros facilitator, we clearly define both of them. Leadership creates passion and focus. Management creates competent and productive team members. I want you to look at that and listen to it again. Leadership creates passion and focus in others. Management creates competent and productive team members. Management has to take ownership of their team's capabilities. Leaders cast direction, supports the team with positivity and encouragement. Our process helps managers understand the need for good management, which includes ensuring they know how to do their job and how to do their job efficiently. Good management is not just saying get the job done and then leaving them alone. That's how a number of people think good management looks like. Leadership and management are learned skills, and we teach them to follow proven practices in both areas, not only for your clients, but for you as an individual. You as an individual have to grow in your leadership and management skills as well. Great execution equals consistency internally and externally. Just a brief story here. I've traveled around the world and been to conferences, different things, and I bet I've gone to a McDonald's in no less than 3 or 4 different countries. Now, why would I do that? Because there's plenty of places to eat, because I know it's consistent. I know what to expect. That's what great execution does, not just to the customer, but internally as well. So that is the fourth discipline. All right, we've made it to discipline number 5. Discipline number 5 is mission. This is not about a mission statement. I want to start there. This is about who we are and what it is that we do and why that we do it. So the 3 pieces of the mission discipline are our core values, our purpose, and giving back to our communities. I'm going to take a few minutes and dig into the core values area. Core values. Living our core values create the culture of an organization. Now, core values and culture can be very sensitive and misunderstood. First of all, I want to be clear. Core values have to be defined, and they have to be behavioral. I want to share briefly about a client of mine. I've been with them over 4 years, and when we started, they've got over 500 employees. When we started, they have clear core values. They're on the wall. They've had them for 15 years. Unfortunately, they were written dictatorial instead of behavioral. No one knew the values, let alone knew how they should behave. And so we have to make sure that we help our clients define those core values and that we're living them. Core values drive culture of an organization. Values need to be taught. They need to be incorporated into every aspect of the daily life of an employee. Every team member in an organization is responsible for ensuring the organization is living by their core values and that everyone is a culture keeper. Our role as an Adding Zeros facilitator is to help ensure that our clients stay true to who they are and that they're living the right behaviors, incorporating those behaviors into their daily lives and their daily work every single day. Culture needs to stay the same in good and bad times, just like our strategy. COVID or no COVID, we've got to keep the core values. We've got to keep the culture going because that's who we are. That's how we behave. It's the oxygen of a great business. So my challenge question to you is, how good of a culture keeper are you for your clients? Our Adding Zeros tools and proven resources help you teach your clients to be culture keepers each and every day. When we're fully implementing the discipline of mission, we create that emotional connection. Our core values define that culture, and it creates that emotional connection for our team, our customers, and the community that we do business with. So I want to tie it all together for you. I want to bring this back to that graphic that I started at the beginning with a little more detail. This is how it all ties together. We add zeros when these disciplines are being implemented. Now, some are going to be stronger than others, but our role as an Adding Zeros facilitator is to help create organizational discipline. And through organizational development in our clients' businesses, we impact them in every aspect. So look around and how these go. If a company is strong in strategy but their execution is terrible, they aren't going to add zeros. That's the power. We get all of them working closely together, and it's fun, so much fun when you get that aha moment with a client where they actually thought they had something right and it was having some gaps in certain areas. This brings that aha to that. When we bring all that together, it helps them experience exponential growth. And going back to that definition, it helps them experience predictability, sustainability. They're stable, they're consistent, and they have an emotional connection. All right. I want to come back to that reactions button. I want to get you involved here, and I want you to get some thumbs up if you've learned something of value this afternoon. How many of you learned something here this afternoon? Give a thumbs up. Awesome. I see a lot of thumbs. I see some great posts. I appreciate that. You know, I want to make sure that if you do have questions, please post them in the chat box. And I want to help you see this, because this is some powerful insight of how you can help create organizational discipline. Again, I started with, we have personal discipline and we have organizational discipline. That is the power when you bring both. We need to help organizations develop that. So we're here to balance both executive development and organizational development. Okay. So I'm going to ask Angie, do we have any questions out there that anybody has burning on their minds? I want to see what we have for questions.
I do not see any questions at the moment, Monty.
All right, very good. Well, I want to share a couple things before I talk about next steps. I want to share a couple testimonials to give you a taste of what you can experience being a part of Adding Zeros. And the first one is from a client standpoint. This is a manufacturer, a mid-market manufacturer. They were a client of mine for 4 years. Throughout the process, we have become more goal-oriented and forward-thinking. We've developed more trust with our employees and have learned to empower them. We're now all in this together. The Adding Zeros process helps us develop better critical thinking abilities. When we develop executives, when we have organizational development, we are helping them think differently. We're helping them think like executives. That's that critical thinking. Here's a quote from one of our newest facilitators in Morocco. Adding Zeros has given me the language and process to feel more comfortable in talking with larger organizations. It's helped me see that there's a difference between discipline and having discipline. When this gentleman and I talked about that, I thought that was a fantastic statement, because we can believe we have discipline as a organization, but we also talk about discipline of performance or discipline of activities. We need to create discipline in organizations. And so I love that takeaway from this gentleman. So you've just invested 30 minutes of your afternoon, and I really appreciate it. So now what? What choice are you going to make? I want to say you've got 3 options here. You've got 3 choices. Your first choice is you've enjoyed the time, got a couple of ideas, but this isn't for me. It's not the right time. It's not for me, whatever that might be. The second option is that you are going to take the information, you're going to do it yourself, which I think is fantastic. I want to encourage that as well. Maybe you're going to read the book, Pulling Profits Out of a Hat. This is where the content from our conversation today is coming from, is the book, Pulling Profits Out of a Hat, that I co-authored. And this is a fantastic insight and goes deep into every one of these disciplines. So that's the second option. And finally, the third option is if you're serious about attracting this larger organization, the bigger and better clients for you, I want you to choose to make 2021 your breakout year. I want you to choose to have the results that I've shared throughout this conversation today. And I want you to choose to move closer to having an amazing business that you've been dreaming about. So what are the next steps? Here's the process. Step one, you've taken that today. Today is an overview of the 5 disciplines. We've just touched briefly on one area in each of the 5 disciplines. Step two is we offer a 1-day deep dive into the content. We're going to spend time in each of the disciplines. You're going to learn how you can use it with your clients to increase retention and gain a greater investment from them because of the impact and value that you're providing. You're going to gain confidence to attract that larger client. We're going to go deep into the 5 disciplines so you feel comfortable with the content. And as we go through the content, you also learn the language of these mid-market companies because it is different than a small business. So this is an opportunity to become a certified associate with Adding Zeros. And what you get is an approval to use the content in the book. And with that designation, that gives you great credibility. It gives you great insight and connection to me, the author. You also receive a number of white papers to help you go, again, deeper into that knowledge of the 5 disciplines. Our next 1-day session is on February 3rd, next week. And that is going to be a powerful and impactful day. And it's going to be so impactful, I'm going to give you a money back guarantee. The investment is $495. It's normally $995, but we want to get great participation. So the investment for the 1-day Adding Zeros associate training is $495. And if at the end of the day you don't believe you can truly utilize any of the information, I will gladly give your money back. So that is step 2, next week, February 3rd. Put that on your calendar. The third step is to go deeper. If you want those 6-figure clients, if you want those clients to go deep into those organizations, it's becoming a certified facilitator. You learn how to implement the 5 disciplines and facilitate the conversations with your clients to help them make better decisions. This is the foundation of organizational development. You will learn our process called strategic thinking, execution, planning. Strategic thinking, execution, planning. You will also be given 6 different 12-week programs that you can offer to your clients that are going to be very impactful in helping them, again, make decisions and then implement. A big part of Adding Zeros is our global community. And we have growth success program calls every single month, and you interact with others around the world on how they're implementing, how they're acting. This is a 4-day training. You're going to get tools and resources to not only gain new clients, but retain your clients. And again, this certifies you as a Adding Zeros facilitator. Just a couple things here. Again, there's a monthly growth success and training program. This is coaching from me every single month. This is interacting with others where you're learning how people are implementing. How are you engaging with that client? We do have scholarships available up to funding 100%, and there's also financing available for those of you in the United States. This is an amazing training. This training is going to be, our next training is March 1st through the 4th. So just as a summary, today was step 1. You did the overview of the 5 disciplines. Next week on February 3rd is a 1-day deep dive into the 5 disciplines, so you become a Adding Zeros certified associate. And again, if you want that 6-figure client, you want larger clients, you want to go deep into implementing and facilitating the concepts to decision making, become a certified facilitator with Adding Zeros. So what we're going to get, what Angie just posted into the chat box is the registration link for the 1-day, which is next week. Again, $495 for the day. We go deep into the content. And if you don't feel that you gained benefit by the end of the day or that you can use any of the content, gladly reimburse your investment for the day. My challenge to you, my challenge is, are you adding zeros or are you adding 0? Now is the time to take action. If you desire larger clients that are paying you more while helping make huge impact into their organizations, this is the time to register for the 1-day and participate in the 4-day training as well. For those of you that maybe this isn't right for you or you're not interested in the next step, I really appreciate you joining our call today. And I do want to stay in touch. And I want you to think about how will you make impact on these bigger and better clients. So I want you to know Angie's on my business development team. She and I are here to help and support you. If you'd like to connect and talk further, please type a message in to the chat box or reach out to us. We will gladly spend some one-on-one time with you to help you think through this and understand the opportunity better. So this is about organizational and executive development, and that's what we're here to help you grow your practice with and make a huge impact. So I want to step back and see if we have any questions. And if you do want to stick around and ask a couple questions, I will gladly stay and interact with any of you that want to have a conversation. So again, thank you for your time today. And my challenge, are you adding zeros or are you adding zero? So thank you all. Look forward to seeing you next week at our 1-day deep dive. Look forward to talking with you soon. Thanks, everybody.
So, Monty, we do have a question.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so this is from Dr. Janice Grenlin. Is how did you create the rose model you used?
You know,
and if you want me to take off, I will happy to take her off mute as well.
That's a wonderful question. And, you know, it was interesting as we were building out the disciplines, we realized that they are all connected. And we can be great at strategy, but if we don't implement, we truly can't grow. So we can be great at business development, but if we don't have our team in place, we can't truly grow. And so that was where that flower concept came in, because when they all overlap, that's when we're going to add zeros. And as I mentioned, most businesses, maybe they're only good at 2 or 3 of those areas. Our objective is to help them balance it out so we have growth and exceptional results in all 5 areas. That's when we truly add zeros. Very good. Did that help? And you certainly can unmute and ask more if you like, but any other comments or questions? Very good. Like I said, I will stick around if anyone else has any other questions.
Yeah, so Monty, Frank had asked, my challenge has not been finding companies who understand and see the need. It's finding companies who are willing to make the investment. I love that question.
Fantastic question. So great point. Willing to make the investment. It's interesting when we have a 5 disciplines assessment that we utilize. When we start every relationship, we start with this assessment. And the power of the assessment is you have the entire executive team complete that, and you get to help them verbalize where their gaps are. And when they start to recognize where those gaps are, that's when we ask the tough questions. What's that impact to the organization if that continues? What's the impact that we could have if we corrected that? So we help them identify specifically by discipline different areas that are costing them thousands of dollars every single day. I've got clients that very similar to Kevin's story that are investing $100,000 or more because we are gaining the return every year because we've corrected areas in each of these disciplines. And the clients are staying 4 to 5 years because they are getting that return. So a part of that is having the content and the process to communicate and express that impact that we're having. We don't get paid on time, we get paid on impact. And so we've got to show that impact, and that's where the disciplines come into place. Wonderful question. Appreciate that. So great point. Frank just asked the question, is the assessment part of marketing and is it a saleable product? Yes and yes. So one of the things that I do recommend is using that 5 disciplines assessment as a marketing tool. As you're talking to executive teams or CEOs, you say, hey, just to get at a no charge, you can have them, let's evaluate where we're at in these disciplines. and that opens the conversation. You could also sell it as a opportunity if you wanted, if that's something that just somebody wanted. I like to offer it at no charge because that's going to open the door. That's going to create the energy, the excitement, and give us the opportunity to talk about the process that we can build on for years to come. So that 5 disciplines assessment is powerful. Very good. I see a few more
And
people
for
on.
those who
Any other
haven't,
questions?
yeah, I posted a link for more information on the disciplines. If you guys just want to click that, that'll give you a little bit of why take the assessment, who's it for. There's a little short video on it. So if you want more information on what is the 5 discipline assessments, I posted a link to Monty's website.
Very good. Thank you for that, Angie. Excellent. Anybody else? Comments, questions, or thoughts for today? Wonderful. Well, again, I thank each of you for sticking around. If you do, if you would like a one-on-one conversation, put your phone number in the chat box. I'll pull it off of there, or stick around a little longer. I'll gladly chat with you because I want to help you best. And I'm going to say this again. I believe mid-market companies need us more than ever. They need executive development. They need organizational consistency. And that leadership and management concept, we've got to teach it. We've got to hold them to it. We've got to help them understand it so we can implement it, especially in today's challenging world economy and marketplace. Very good. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day.